the first day flying, I got assigned to fly with a guy named John Buckley, who was from our company. We went down there together. And John had been he's probably 3 months ahead of me in Vietnam. So he'd been there. He was an aircraft commander, and he was perhaps the best pilot I ever flew with in Vietnam. And he could make a helicopter stand on its tail. I mean, he could do anything with a helicopter. And we were listening to all the chatter all morning long, and there was all these different units we were having to haul in, mainly ammo because they were running out of ammo, but we were hauling in food and water as well, but mainly ammo. And because it was hot areas. Every time you were going in, you were getting shot at going in, shot at going out. And some were worse areas than others. And we were, it was about 8:30 in the morning. We'd been flying since around 6:30 or so. And we heard these guys saying this one unit were running low on ammo, and they needed ammo, and nobody could get into them. And we said, Buckley calls in and says, "You guys come over and take this run. We can get it in there." And I'm trusting Buckley. I'm 30 days in Vietnam. I don't know squat. I'm sitting in the right seat. I'm just following orders, you know. But we would come over at 1,000 feet above the thing, and we'd look to see where the smoke. They'd pop smoke where they want us to land, and you'd see where the smoke is drifted, and so you could see about where it's coming from, how fast it's coming in, and you could also see how they're laid out to see where the bad guys are. And they would tell us, you know, they're off to our west or to the north or whatever. And we would try to stay right over the top of the guys that were supporting. Okay. And so we would come over at 1,000 feet. He would cut the power, and if he's flying on the left side, he would drop the collective, lay it over on the left side so he could look out his side window, and he'd keep it in a tight turn, no power. And we're dropping about 1,500 to 2,000 feet a minute. Just so you got about 30 seconds, you're dropping down. Now you're down to maybe 250 feet, and he's turning around, wrapping it out, starting to flare, and at about 100 feet, he's starting to pull power on, and he hits the ground. And at about 15 feet, we're dumping, our crew chief and door gunner are dumping ammo out. And we hit the ground, and we're not on the ground 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, and we're gone. And when we take off, you go low level to about 120 knots, and then pop it right to like 500 feet, and it was just boom, boom, boom. It was fun flying, but it was just, you know, you could hear the people shooting, and you figure they're shooting at us, but you don't know, you know. And our door gunners are, until they're unloading stuff, they're just blasting there's stuff going off. It's exciting. And so we go in and out of there about 3 times. And this time happened to be my time. So whenever we're doing this, I'm laying it off, and I'm doing a right-hand turn because I'm flying on the right seat, and you can't see out the nose. You're looking to the side because you're looking straight down. And so I'm wrapping around, and I come down there. And on the way down, now we've got I'm sitting in the right seat, Buckley's in the left seat. Right behind us is a jump seat, and that's where the interpreter, the Korean interpreter who's talking to them on the ground, and he can speak English, he's talking to us. And he's telling us what they need next or what's going on. On the way down, he's talking to Buckley, and he's saying, and I'm hearing this, we have to wait when we get on the ground. Buckley says, "No, we're not waiting." He says, "We have to wait." He says, "You just wait 15 seconds when on the ground." And what for? And he's going on, and he's talking to this guy. 15 seconds. We have to have you wait 15. Well, you figure there must be some wounded guy on the ground. They're going to have to get him out there or whatever. So as soon as I flared, I land, and we're sitting on the ground, and I turn to him, and this guy runs out, and he's talking to him, and we're looking around, and everybody, all the Koreans are laying on the ground, and we're sitting up in a helicopter sitting there. And all of a sudden, they started shooting, and the bullets started coming into the helicopter. The Korean that ran out handed this interpreter this North Vietnamese flag they'd caught the night before or whatever, and I don't know what else they had to talk about, but he's sitting there looking at me holding this flag saying this is a big deal. They just captured this NVA flag. And all of a sudden the bullets are hitting Buckley's seat, and we got armor plated seat, and it's hitting that armor plating. It's hitting, I had my little camera hanging right behind my head. There's 5 or 6 bullet holes right by that camera. And then it hit my armor plated, and then they kept working back, went through this Korean's back and out his chest. I think 4 went through his back and out of his chest. Then they went back, hit the shrapnel was just hitting the crew chief, went through the transmission, the fuel cells, the engine, all the way back. All this happened from the first bullet to the last one. We both grabbed the controls and are pulling it up, and Buckley's yelling, "I've got the controls, I've got the controls." Well, you've got the controls, and then if he's got the controls, and I'm calling in, and I knew we were in trouble because this Korean is laying there on the floor, and he's obviously hurt bad. I thought he was dead, but he was still alive, but he was not going to make it. And our crew chief and door gunner both got shrapnel wounds, and they're screaming, and so I'm trying to shut their noise off, and we're flying back. We have 17 miles to try to get to see if we can get this helicopter limped home. We keep it at about 200 feet because we think everything's going to seize up and die any time now, because the fuel is going down, we're losing control on the hydraulics, and every red light and every little beeper is going off, and I'm pulling all the circuit breakers trying to shut that stuff off. And we're making a running landing with no hydraulics. We run out of fuel on short final and land the thing. And they got everybody waiting for us there. And we pull this Korean out, and I open up his shirt, and I'm trying. He's got sucking chest wounds that are everywhere. You're just trying to stop everything from bleeding and everything else. And he dies right there. And it was just, this was 15 minutes, I suppose, from beginning to maybe 20 minutes by the time we landed, I suppose. And then we walk into the 48th unit, and they said, "Well, we've got another helicopter for you. Want to go out there and try that again?" We said, "We think we've maybe done enough. We just wrecked total one of our 129th helicopters. We're done for the day."